What's good, everybody? It's your boy here, the Qtip, and I'm back with another video. Today, I'm bringing you guys a new segment called Q-Tip's Corner. Before I elaborate on that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on this so you can get all of your WNBA, NFL, women's college, NBA, men's college, basketball information, news, just commentary right here with your boy. Today, bringing you guys this new concept, new segment, and I'm calling it Q-Tip's Corner. Shout out to my guy P because he helped me. Uh, This was originally called Q-Tip's Quintessentials. Big word. Big word. Would have been a mouthful to try to explain. But we came up with Q-Tip's Corner. Basically, it's for the players that don't get as much acknowledgement as they should, don't get talked about as much as they should. Basically, the players that you put in the corner and you don't really expect much from them or you're not asking too much of them. The ones that don't get the love, they don't get the acknowledgement. That's what this segment is going to be about. That's what these videos are going to be about. And the first point of discussion today will be Haley Jones. I got Stanford on for a reason. I actually have a jersey of hers over there too. So this one's a little bit more on the bias side, but that's okay because I've got everything to back it up. So what I'll be doing with these is, like I said, I'll be talking about why I feel like the player deserves more credit, deserves more like acknowledgement and things like that. But I'll also be dropping on my social media platforms, specifically TikTok, highlight reels of these players from the season to give you guys more of an outlook. So make sure you're following the TikTok as well, so you guys know that what I'm saying isn't just what I'm saying. There's actual video proof to back it up. So to start, giving Haley Jones her flowers today. She started out the season playing with the Atlanta Dream. Well, thought she was going to play with the Atlanta Dream. The day before the regular season started, she was cut from the Atlanta Dream, the team she had been on since she had been drafted in 2023. And that's a rough time to get cut because it doesn't give other teams chances to pick you up because they're making the same kinds of decisions as the Dream were. So she had a few weeks where she wasn't on the team. She got picked up by Phoenix for a few games when they were dealing with a bunch of injuries early in the season. Um, Obviously, she wasn't able to stay because it was a 7-day contract. And then she went back home, got picked up by the Dallas Wings on a 7-day contract. I think she got 2 of those and then ended up getting picked up for the rest of the season. And she ended up getting career highs across the board in terms of literally everything, almost like points, rebounds, assists, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage. I think free throw percentage as well, steals, blocks per game, minutes played per game, like everything that you could possibly think of, she reached career highs in. And I think a big thing for her, and I've always big on this with most athletes, and I've said this before on this channel, but I'm big on athletes with confidence. And Haley Jones is definitely one of those players that is a player that plays off of confidence, rhythm, and just positive energy, positive attitude. And sometimes it's hard to play on a team that you're not sure what your role is, or you're not sure what coaches want from you on a day-to-day basis. I was very, very adamant about the fact that I didn't like how they were using her in Atlanta the 2 years prior to Carl Smesco coming in. He said some really good things about her in the preseason and during the training camp. So I felt like there was going to be, something different with her on the team this year. Obviously, that didn't go to plan. Phoenix, when they picked her up, they did like her, but they just couldn't keep her because of the numbers. And then Dallas picked her up because of a need, but also picked her up because they saw value, and they've been rewarded with that value. I would say, they have found a player that can be a part of their core, can be a part of their team for the years to come, because she is still really young. She's only 24 years old. She's still super talented, super versatile, and she just brings so much to the table. She's a great teammate, great communicator. She can play finish. She could play multiple different positions, and that was the thing with Atlanta, where it was like they tried to put her in a box of like, oh, you're a point guard. They had point guard energies with Jordan Canada and Aaron McDonald, and they're like, all right, you're a point guard. You're the backup point guard. You're the 13 point guard. And that was a team that didn't really use point guards much, because Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard had the ball in their hands a lot. So it was like, when she didn't have the ball, what was she doing? And I can say with her in Dallas, when she doesn't have the ball, she's cutting, she's rolling, she's setting screens, she's setting picks and rolling, she's setting picks and popping. Like, she's doing so many different things. She's also being a pick and roll handler, just running like being a part of the offense, not like just standing on the like I said, Q-tip's corner, sitting in the corner or sitting on the wing and just not knowing what to do. And then if they get the ball, you're shooting a three at the end of the shot clock. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, she can't shoot the three." Whether or not she can shoot the three, it's up to debate. She's a great basketball player nonetheless. She's able to make the three when she needs to. She's shooting 30% this year. Obviously, that's not a fantastic percentage, but for someone that doesn't shoot a ton, it's a pretty good percentage, I would say. Uh, I think that's always something that she's going to work on in the offseason is the shooting. But I think what you get everything else, the way that she can play in transition, the way she can play on the fast break, the way that she can just be a huge piece of an offense and play multiple positions, like I said earlier, being able to play basically 1 through 4, really. Like she's played the 3 and the 4 most of the season with Dallas because Maddie Seegers was out for a good bit. DJ Carrington was out for a good bit. And then they traded her. Enrique's been out for a good bit. So she's been able to play multiple different roles. Even when they brought in like Grace Berger and they played Isaiah James and they played JJ Quinterly, she was still able to come in and play a 4, start at the 4, come in, play the 3, play the 2. There's not a lot of players that are able to do that and excel. Like there are a lot of players that you could put there, but are they going to excel? Are they going to do well? They may not. She has been doing that for years. She's been able to play multiple. She's been able to play multiple positions for years. Even when she was at Stanford, she was able to play the point guard, the 2 guard, the 3 guard, the 4 guard, or the 4 man. Um, and she has never gotten the credit for that. Like even when she was going into the draft, instead of talking about all the things she did well, they just talked about the fact that she didn't shoot the 3 ball well. When there was a player that got picked before her, I can't remember all 5 players that were picked before her, but I know one player in particular is not a good 3-point shooter either. So that was always weird to me because somebody may be a more natural scorer, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're a more efficient or more effective scorer. So that's something that I've always been kind of it's always been a pet peeve of mine, especially when it comes to Haley Jones. It's like sometimes versatility is a negative when it never should be, in my opinion. Like sometimes being good at multiple things is not great because someone may want you to be elite at one thing. She's not elite at one thing, but she's great at a bunch of things. And I think when you look at talent across the league, and especially young talent, you're looking at players that can play a role. You're looking at players that can fit in with anybody. Haley Jones has been able to play with a bunch of different people. She was able to play with Phoenix and not mess up what they had going on. Even when she was in Atlanta, I don't think she messed up what they had going on. And obviously not in Dallas. She's been a huge piece, a huge positive for them. She's been able to play with Paige Beckers, who, when you think about like the stature of the two, you wouldn't think they'd be able to run like a 1-3-1-4 pick and roll, but they've run it to perfection like quite often. Like the first couple of games they played together, they ran plays like that so often and it worked. Literally just the other night they ran it and it worked. So she's able to play so many different roles. She's able to do so many different things on the court. And I just wish that, and it's not even like mainstream media. I feel like it's WNBA media that doesn't really give her the credit, play-by-play media that doesn't really give her the credit, fans that don't give her the credit. Like Haley Jones is a tremendous basketball player, whether or not her game is super flashy or super entertaining to the casual fan. You have to respect someone that is able to do that many things on the basketball court and help her team. She's always helped her team. She's always been on a team that is in a winning position. She won a championship at Stanford and she was the most outstanding player. She was the best player on that team and there were multiple players on that team that ended up getting drafted. So it's weird that she came in the league, like she's come in the league around the same time as these other players that have gotten more acknowledgement and I want to say more shine, but more adulation than her. And some of them have had like more accolades, so they deserve it. But some people don't have the same kind of skill level or talent level that she has, and people still will try to throw Haley Jones under the bus and say like, "Hey, she can't do this. She's not good at this, or she shouldn't be on this team because da 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 da." Like, it's really weird, honestly. Like some of it I don't think it's like about basketball. I think it's a little bit more like personal. Um, but again, she averaging career highs across the board, super confident, playing on the rhythm. playing with a team and a coaching staff and a GM that believe in her and that want her to excel, want her to do well, want her to be a part of the team is huge. It's huge for confidence. And this being her third year, she's 24 years old. She's still got a ton of time. Hopefully, this is a team that she stays on. If not, I think with the way that she's played throughout this season, there's going to be teams that are going to be looking to get her if she's not protected in the expansion draft because there's two expansion teams this year. So there's going to be another expansion draft. There's going to be two players on each team that are going to have to get unprotected, I'm assuming. And then there's a bunch of players that are free agents because of the new CBA deal. So I don't know what the next year's like what next season is going to look like for her in terms of where she'll be. I hope she's with Dallas because I think she fits in really well there, and I think she could be a part of what they're trying to build. Um, but as far as like this past season, this is by far her best season in the W. She had a great season overseas, playing in Australia, which not a lot of people talked about, but she played great over there. Um, she scored 500. She not scored 500. She reached 500 career points in the WNBA when her first 2 years she played, but it wasn't like, oh, we're looking for you to score, or she had opportunities to like really, really score. Now, like I said, she's able to get rebounds. Like you'll see it in the TikTok video of the highlight reel that I put together. She's able to get the ball and just go. She doesn't have to get the ball and think about like, oh, who should I get the ball to? Am I gonna make a mistake? If I make a mistake, am I going to the bench? That kind of thing, which is huge for young players, especially in the WNBA. It's like there's such a short leash that you feel like if you make a mistake, you're going to the bench or you're going to get cut. And it's hard to play under that kind of pressure. Like, not a lot of people have to play under that kind of pressure, especially as a pro. And especially considering the time frame that they're coming from. Like, some of them just played in April, and now they're getting drafted in May. And they're getting drafted in April, and their season starts in May. So it's like, I don't think enough players get enough grace, but it's also just not enough time for those players to get that grace. So I just want to give her her flowers and give her a ton of credit for how she battled through adversity throughout this season, especially the fact that she was cut right before the season started, was able to play on two different teams, stick on one, be a part, and potentially be a part of a core of of that team. And I don't know, I'm just happy as a big Haley Jones fan. Like literally the only reason I have a Stanford hoodie is because Haley Jones played at Stanford. Before that, I am a women's college basketball fan, so I like Stanford, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm with Stanford. Like I was rooting for Stanford when Haley Jones was there, like rooting for Stanford. Like obviously I'm a UConn fan, so I was rooting for UConn too. But if UConn lost, I was rooting for Stanford. Like Stanford, the run they made to the championship, I actually had picked them to win the championship that year. So kudos to me. Pat on the back. Um, but yeah, I'm just happy to see her doing well. I'm happy to see her flourishing. I'm happy to see her back in the league, and I'm hoping that she's able to get to a spot where she is solidified in the league, feels good about where she is in the league. Um, and based off what she's able to do this offseason, she could come in even better next year. Um, Whatever team has her is going to have a player that's super versatile, high energy, positive attitude, great teammate, and is able to play multiple roles, multiple positions, and is able to do so many different things on the court. So, like I said earlier, there will be a TikTok out with a highlight reel, just a few games throughout the season. I'll try to post some more throughout the end of the season, just so people can get an outlook because some people don't watch all the games, some people don't see the games at all, some people that watch this don't even watch basketball. So it's just an easy way to put what I'm saying into visuals because sometimes what I'm saying may not make sense to certain people, and that's okay. I appreciate you guys for watching anyway. Now, that is the first edition of Q-Tip's Corner. Let me know how you feel about it. Let me know who you would want to see next. I have about 10 or 11 players that are on this first edition or first round of Q-Tip's Corner. At a certain point, maybe there's going to be some NBA players. There's going to be some women's college players. Maybe men's college players. I don't know. Maybe there'll be some NFL players. I really don't know. This is just me throwing paint on a wall and just seeing if it sticks. Not seeing if it sticks, it'll stick. Seeing what it looks like. Seeing if it pops, if it looks good. But anyways, appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know how you feel and come back for the next one.